Hello, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video reaches a great many people, and specifically people who are not victims of narcissistic abuse. This will help us, the victims of narcissists, be believed, be understood, be a little bit more calm in knowing that the general public has a little bit better understanding of what true narcissistic abuse is. There are so many of you out there that have not, thankfully, suffered at the hands of a narcissist. However, narcissism, parents, spouses, ex-spouses, grandparents, is really very prevalent. So I'd like you to ask yourself, if you notice a couple strange things, what really may be going on in that family dynamic? For those of you who have true unconditional love within your families, we understand that you can't get it, that it's very difficult for you to perceive how a family member or a loved one within a family could want to hurt and destroy and discredit, disparage their family member. It's a very, very misunderstood personality disorder. And that's what it is. It's called narcissistic personality disorder. If you're noticing a family that somehow something is just quite not right, if you come across a parent who continuously degrades and bashes their children, or a parent who is always speaking in negative terms about the child while couching them in loving terms. For example, "I'm so concerned about Jimmy. He's taken so many drugs," or "he's so messed up," or "his life is this," or "his life is that, but I'm concerned about him because I love him." And if they continuously do that on different levels, that could be, not always, but that could be a true sign of a narcissistic parent. If you see a family with such dysfunction where the siblings do not speak to one another, where some of the siblings may not even speak to the parent or parents, there could be a really good reason for that. And that reason very well may be narcissism. If you have a friend, be it a male or a female, that continuously speaks ill of their spouse or their ex, somebody they may be going through a divorce with, and refers to that person in derogatory terms, this very well may be narcissism. Narcissism abuse is very real. It is very painful, and it is very dangerous. So what I'm asking you to do, the general public, is that when you see a family that something just doesn't seem right, where one of the family members are being bashed constantly, where one of the family members are being degraded all the time, stop and think for a second, please. Maybe it's not that child's fault or that ex-spouse's fault. Maybe it's the one who's telling the tall stories. The reason why I'm making this is because this is so prevalent. Very few people understand this. We get that. But what we're trying to do here is bring awareness to narcissism, specifically narcissistic abuse. If you have questions, if you know about a family that has these traits, start doing your research on narcissism, and you may be surprised in what you find. But we, as victims of narcissistic abuse, would like to ask you to please, when you hear and when you see or witness a family member speaking in such negative terms, such degrading terms, there may be a lot more behind the picture than you truly realize. If you see a family that likes to use lawyers to sue others, to sue each other within that family, we're not asking you to take action. We're asking you to please stop and think. Because you may then believe us. You may then think that it is not the subject of the person that's doing the speaking. It may be the person speaking themselves that has narcissistic personality disorder. Their job as narcissists is to get you to believe them. They do this in a number of different ways. They'll associate themselves with social circles, such as churches, perhaps senior centers, the Elks Club, and they'll present themselves as this wonderful, loving, caring person. But watch and listen closely in what they say, because that will tell you a lot. Look, we're not asking for your sympathy. We have, as survivors or victims of narcissistic abuse, empathy for each other. What we're trying to ask here is for you that when you see these traits, to stop and think a moment. Because a parent or a spouse who has to continuously degrade their child or their ex in order to get admiration, usually has something behind that. These are people who truly hate themselves. Now, I'm sure that you've heard the old stories that narcissism is about self-love. It's not. It's really about self-hate. And the narcissist, they need to be able to regurgitate hateful stories about those who are around them. Siblings, children, spouses, ex-spouses. They need to do that in order to feel good about themselves. They're taking their bad traits and projecting them on to those other victims. So listen for that. And again, the next time you run across somebody who seems like a wonderful social person, but yet has tremendous disparaging remarks for those that they know, please think there may be a whole lot more behind that than they're letting you know. Thank you for allowing us to be able to share this with you. And if you have any questions or any comments, please write them in the comment section down below. Thank you again. I wish you peace in this new year. Good day.